was chased from church because he used to speak in tongues. Because that time, speaking in tongues was not popular. So they had to chase him for speaking in tongues. Then after some years, he moved from Austin, Texas. He went to St. Louisiana, where he worked as a bartender at an age of 25 years. As he was 25 years old, the Holy Spirit started to speak to Simon. So he refused to take the calling of God because he was so comfortable by being a Christian, working again as a bartender. He then worked as a waiter. But that time things were difficult because there was too much segregation, racial discrimination from the whites because he was black. And only the whites were the ones that were allowed to preach. Every black person was regarded as a lower class, second class citizen. Only the white people were regarded as called by God to minister the gospel. So one day he thought of learning, because he was not that educated. He had geometric, but he had not passed. So he thought of enrolling for a college, theological school. But those days, theology was for white people only. Then he pushed to get a space until he got a space. So the white people, they said to him, if you want to study, you are going to study outside. We'll be inside, but you'll be studying outside. So sometimes it will be raining while he's outside sitting, studying theology. After 3 years, he had passed more than everybody. Then God started to call him into the ministry, but he was so reluctant, and there was an outbreak of chickenpox. Then he became a victim of chickenpox. When he became a victim of chickenpox, he became blind on his left eye. Then he had some scars of chickenpox. So when he became blind, he nearly died. And God said, you are running away from my work, my assignment as a steward. Then he took the assignment. As he took the assignment, mind you, he's still under Methodist. As he was still under Methodist at that time, they did not allow him to speak in tongues, but whenever he could pray, he could see himself speaking in tongues until they chased him out of the church. Then he went to a house of a white man called Bilham, and they started to do their cell groups. As they were doing cell groups, people who would be passing, they would be healed, demons would cry out from people. So the spirit was too much, to the extent that that street, it was a no-go area for demons. The power of God was tangible. The power of God was too much until the white people, because that time only the blacks would come and sit to listen to Simon. And then white people, doctors, lawyers, they started now to come and listen to his preachings because the power was there. Then there is a man of God called John Gillette. He then heard, he was a white man, that there is a black man who's moving in power. Then he said, let me go and check. John Gillette, in his book, he says that when I arrived at Simon's church, what I experienced was not a man. I experienced God speaking through a man. They had a choir of 20 people. Whenever they would open their mouth to sing, they would start to sing in tongues. Whenever they could try to testify, they would see themselves speaking in tongues. And John Gillette became again part and parcel